Hello everyone. Just at home relaxing today. No work. Not much going on. It's a beautiful day. And I bought this today. So that's good. I bought it maybe 4 hours ago and I haven't had a cigarette since. So get used to seeing it. um, So I never really did a response on the community cliques and friendships, cults, all this stuff going about because there's not much I'm gonna say, but I'll say what I can and what I'm feeling. Um, is that yes, this is a community, and we struggled with that word. I've talked about it. Other people have talked about it. What is and what is not a community? It's a word. It's just a word. And of course, this is who was it? I think it was Two Paths Tarot, Patsy, I think, that explained it like as a tree, and I thought that was very, very fitting. Where you have the trunk, and that's the community here. But this tree has many, many branches. Each branch has many, many branches. So really, this one branch on one side of the tree has nothing to do with the other branch, even though they are part of the same community. Very simple. And I think, that is my exact view as well. And that, I guess that wasn't my view when I first got into this community, was I kind of viewed it as everybody kind of knew everybody and everybody got along. And that's kind of how it was when I first arrived. Or in my eyes, that's how it was. Goodness, something's going on. But it's stuff has happened, and it has divided the community in many areas. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think that has been a bad thing at all. I think that it has shown people in a much more clear fashion who they can respect and who they can't respect. And I am not saying that people respect me or don't respect this person. That's not where I'm going with this. There are people that certainly don't respect me for some of the things I've said and done, and that's their right. But I think that what has happened now has caused obviously different parts of the community to kind of split apart from each other, and that's fine. Now people know better who they can talk to, what channels they want to watch, where people stand on hot issues, and I think that's a great thing. It has almost forced people to become more authentic. It has forced people to be a little bit more open about who they are, where they stand on issues, such as bullying. So I think altogether that has been one of the good outcomes, one of the blessings of everything that has happened in this community. As far as cliques go, of course there are cliques. Zach talked about it just a couple days ago in a live, and he didn't beat around the bush, and neither will I. There are cliques. There are cliques. Clique for some people tends to bring up very negative feelings, and at first it does for me too until I start thinking about it, because cliques always takes you back to like high school, to middle school, because that is really the first time I think that we experience cliques. And as people that love the tarot and spiritual issues and whatnot, a lot of us, I think, did probably grow up feeling a little bit left out or not part of, and so this feeling of cliques automatically brings about a very negative reaction. I can't be a part of the cool kids. But that's just life. That's just life. I don't think I'm really involved in any type of clique that I know of. There are a few choice people I talk to online, but those people we don't all talk together, and some of those aren't in contact with the others and whatnot, so I don't think I'm really a part of a clique, but I would be if I found the right clique. All a clique is, in my opinion, is a group of people whose interests are the same, who have gotten to know each other at a deeper level, kind of ride or die people together. And that's all right. That's all right. But some people feel like they're being left out. And I felt like that at one time here online, you know, and that's where a lot of my struggle was too, was feeling like people weren't letting me in, or people didn't understand me, or why isn't this person liking me? That's just life. And if you are feeling left out of a certain clique you want to be a part of, maybe ask yourself why aren't you being allowed to be part of that clique? Maybe it's not a bad thing. Maybe you just don't have the right personality for that clique, which it's not always a bad thing. Make your own clique. Find like-minded people. Find people you can connect with and talk to on a regular basis, and create your own. There are millions of cliques online. So I don't think that should bother anybody either. If it does, I don't mean to belittle your feelings. Like I said, it can be tough coming from the backgrounds I think a lot of us have come from, and what the term clique really brings to mind. So I think another thing I wanted to say was our community is no different than many other communities in the YouTube world and Facebook world. I think that every community has dealt and deals with this on a very regular basis. The drama, the name calling, the bullying, the scandal, just everything. I think what makes it so hard for us in this community is that we expect this community to be more spiritual, enlightened than others. So for many coming into the community where they think that they are going to be extremely warmly welcomed, that everybody is very open-minded, you can say anything you want without any flack, I think we are learning that that's not the case. And it is more of a shock and more of a hurt for us because we don't expect to find that in this sort of community. But the people in this community, including myself, are nothing more than human. We are just human, and sure, we focus on matters of spirituality and diving into ourselves and figuring life out and using the tarot to do that, but that doesn't make us better people than anywhere else. So I think the thought that I've had in the past that why aren't these people behaving more spiritually is really something we shouldn't be focusing on too much, just because we're all still human and we're all going to react to these issues the same way a lot of other people would that aren't as spiritual, to be honest. You know, and that's how it is. I wish it weren't like that. I wish we could all try to be a little bit more understanding and a little bit more spiritual and welcoming. But I have failed in some areas in that regard, as have others. So maybe that is a lesson we can take with us, is where did I go wrong in all this? And that's what I'm looking at right now. Where did I misstep? What could I have done differently? What part didn't I see that maybe would have helped if I had taken a step back and looked at it before moving forward? So now that all is said and done, guys, I think the best that we can do is just take a look at what happened, and learn from it. Just learn from it. I know some things are much more raw to some people. My heart goes out to Bosity for what she had gone through. She felt like she was not heard, like she was suppressed. Her ideas and her feelings weren't being taken into consideration. I still don't know what happened exactly in that chat. I've heard, and I don't like what I've heard. I will say on my channel, there is absolutely no room for bullying or racism, bigotry, in any form. I would never, ever, ever tolerate even the slightest hint of especially racism or any kind of bigotry towards minorities. Is just ridiculous, in my opinion. And some people might think that a small little comment is nothing to be afraid of, is nothing to get your panties in a bunch about. I disagree. As a gay man, I know exactly what those little remarks can turn into. I have felt how, you know, just the term gay, I don't like it. I don't like when people say something is gay. Oh, that's gay. Because it is synonymous with stupid, with silly, with, you know. So that's one thing that really bothers me, that a lot of people will be like, people have been saying that for years, you're getting all troubled over nothing, you know, that's ridiculous. But to me, it does mean something. It's something that I try to make people aware of, and I no longer say. So we can never take these things, we can never make these things smaller than what they are. I think that those sort of things really do need to be taken seriously, and we need to listen to people when they are bothered. Even if we think they shouldn't be bothered, we need to understand why they're bothered and figure out how we can help that situation. I think the last thing I want to do is I'm going to read the comment, I think, that Oya's Girls, Queen Offset, that she posted on the bowling video, because I think it is everything that needs to be said. And I know that it has, what is it now, 71 likes. So a lot of people have seen this, read it, or heard about it. But I want it to be read aloud on a channel. I want it to be something that people hear, because I agreed with it very, very wholeheartedly. So I am just going to read this. It says, "My dear Jennifer, we have to be mindful that we don't become the very thing which we disdain. The double-edged sword comes with many responsibilities that are heavy to carry. The double-edged sword also cuts both ways. It doesn't matter who is doing it, all of this falls under the same umbrella of bullying. Only allowing certain voices to be heard can be problematic. I'd like to think that we are all in pursuit of the truth. We just take different paths to get there. But it doesn't make it wrong. Usually when the same objective, the truth, is desired, the many tones added along the way can muddy the search. This adds a layer of discomfort for many. The cause of the discomfort can be perceived as conjecture, lies, or fabrications. The current circumstances, vibes, and energies are pitting us against each other, creating an us versus them mentality, thereby highlighting the very things that initiated this firestorm, and unfortunately may support some of the claims. I have been privately contacted by some of the same people who have commented here on this post with some interesting commentary. Their messages to me are repressive and dismissive, and yet they claim to stand with you against bullying. I believe their objective was to intimidate me. Isn't that a form of bullying? If I were to address them publicly, which I would be within my right to do so, to get an explanation for their verbal abuse, I would be deemed a bully, correct? I have never privately initiated a conversation with anyone in this community in this manner or otherwise. There are many unsavory behaviors that go on behind the scenes that are not often addressed or spoken about. There have been times when we have reached out to another to handle things privately only to be ignored. At some point, the pressure cooker reaches its boiling point, then it explodes, and then there's a mess to clean up, or not. In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. Things may cool down, and everyone will return to a sense of normalcy in their respective worlds. We'll sit back and assess the collateral damage, and write them off without having gotten one step closer to the truth. But perhaps that is not desired, and that's acceptable as well. We should just be honest about it. It would help in the making of educated, informed, non-emotion-fed decisions. When we allow our emotions to get the best of us, it is at that time that we can make some unforgivable, unretractable mistakes. In order to rebuild and deepen our roots, the tower must fall. Perhaps it is time to clear the debris, really look at where we are, and build from there. Peace, Queen Offset. Beautifully said. I mean, that is, she was able to take a step. She has always, from what I've seen in her videos, she's always, been able to take a step backward and look at things from a higher perspective. And I think that is something that people should read and heed, is those words there. They're very wise. You know, I had this thought that I would go more into what has happened in the comments on Jennifer Ball's video. All I will say right now, directly to Jennifer Ball, I don't think she'll watch this. She won't talk to me. I have tried to reach out to her to actually have a conversation. She refuses. Jennifer Ball, maybe I was in the wrong for including you in the list of names that that in a video where I was talking about people that were participating in Tarathon and how my respect for them had diminished. I really didn't know much about you, and so maybe it was unfair to list you. That's something I don't like to think about. It was in the past, and whether I was right or wrong would take some consideration. And that's not something that I have the mental energy for at the moment. So I may have been mistaken. But Jennifer Ball, I don't know why. I don't know what happened to make you hate me so much. I don't care that you do. I care that you allow the messages. I've reported a couple of messages on this thread from Ninan Calafia. Ninan Calafia, I won't be as nice to you, love. You're a bitch. She has said some very nasty, very bullying comments, 2 of which have been taken down because I reported them. There are a couple still up that I don't think I can or need to report, but that are just as rude and ridiculous. So, I'm surprised, Jennifer, that you leave those up. I honestly, besides that one comment I made in my video, listing you with a few other people that were still being part of the Tarathon, I don't think it deserves that. I don't. I don't know. And I will share really quick. And I do have Rochelle's permission to do this. I asked her last night. It's Rochelle Days, and she wrote Jennifer and said, "I'm sorry you were shamed for participating in Tarathon. You're right, no one was there during that fight, but what we do know is that they both made mistakes. Shane owned up and apologized, but Simon has yet to admit that he was a shitty friend and made his mistakes too. In my opinion, that shows me that Simon lacks integrity." I no longer care what Simon is doing. I no longer care about any kind of revenge or anything against Simon. I believe and I feel that he has probably gone through enough as well. He doesn't post about it. He doesn't talk about his feelings much from what I've heard. But I can imagine that being silent on these issues has taken just as much of a toll on him as being very outspoken about these issues has taken its toll on me. So I don't think Simon should really be bugged anymore. That is my opinion. Do I forgive Simon? I think I can. I think I can. That is a personal decision I need to make, and I am working towards. I no longer have so much hate in my heart towards that situation. It took time, and it took me doing what I did to get past that. But Rochelle is right here. I did try to write Simon, and he wouldn't listen to me either. And that's when a few months ago I did come on. And while Simon has apologized to the community, no, I never got my apology from him, which is fine. But Rochelle brings that up, and Jennifer Ball's response is this. Rochelle Days, you are sadly mistaken. Simon has on more than one occasion, she means, taken full responsibility for his part in the whole instance. He has not taken full responsibility. He has apologized, but he doesn't talk about his full responsibility. He's never once come clean about trying to be sexual with me. And she says, "What do you want? Do you want us to draw and quarter him? How many times does he have to say it? And what fucking business is it of yours to begin with?" Rochelle Days is a very, very nice girl. I don't know her very well. I see her comments. I've talked to her just a few times on a personal level, and it hasn't been very personal. but her comment did not elicit that kind of reaction from Jennifer Ball. So, Jennifer, I would just ask you to please tone it down. These people are dealing with these issues as well. What business is it of hers? She's talked to me personally. Maybe she feels a little bit for me. So it makes it her business. Jennifer, what business is it of yours to get involved? Because you know Simon, not even on a face-to-face basis, through the internet, like, it's as much Rochelle's business as it is yours or anybody else's. So I think that it's time to move forward. I don't know, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, I don't know where my channel is going. I no longer have if I'm going to continue a channel, it has to be about things that inspire me, things that make me passionate, things that even make me mad. It has to be something that elicits a big passion for me if I'm going to take the time to be an online presence of any sort. And I hate to say it, but I'm going to say it now, that is no longer tarot for me. I don't know if this whole experience has cast a shadow over tarot, or if it's something I just would have fallen out of by myself. It may be the latter. Maybe it took its place in my life for a couple years, and now just isn't as much of a draw. I still work with it sometimes. In fact, I just bought the Illuminated Tarot playing card set. And I thought about doing a review, but again, it's not something that really makes me passionate. So this is my warning to anybody continuing to watch my channel, that if you're looking for exclusive tarot content, you will not be finding it here. If I talk about the tarot, it will be minimal. I doubt I'll ever do another deck walkthrough. That's just not me anymore. You know, we change, you know, we move along. And what right now in my life makes me the most passionate, and always has, is just fighting injustice where I see it. And I don't know what that means for me moving forward in a channel, if there's going to be certain topics or a topic that I stick with. But I know that the things that brighten me up, that really get me going, are hot issues. Are issues that people usually don't like to talk about. I think those are the issues that do need to be talked about. And I think they need to be talked about with an open mind, so that we can learn and we can grow and accept new ideas, you know, and change our way of thinking. We can't stay stagnant. I can't stay stagnant. So I don't know what I will be talking about on my channel. That's where I'm at right now personally, is really figuring out where that interest and where that passion lies before I move forward with my channel. But I won't say this will be the end all of what I say about any of this topic, but I hope it is. I think that I've said my piece on all these issues. I know there are people hurting out there. I urge you to just find the people that love you, find the people that can accept you online and can talk to you on a human level, and stick with those people. You know, get rid of the channels that are making you feel uneasy, even if it's mine. If you don't like me, get off my channel. But find the channels that really inspire you and stick with those. Find the people that do the same and stick with those people. Don't allow that negativity in. If you're in a live chat and it's going wrong, and you don't feel justified, that is really shitty. But then why do you want to be a part of that channel or that chat room after all? There are millions online. So let's find those. Let's find places where we can be ourselves. There will always be issues wherever you go. And I think that it's important to let some of those go. That is what I am learning. And that's why this hasn't been as hard for me this time. I've really backed up and kind of just, I'm trying to look at things from outside now, and it has made life a lot easier for me, and it hasn't troubled me as much. And I think that I have felt so much love, even though there is so much shit going on, but I have felt love, and I have felt acceptance, and I have felt heard. And I hope that other people are feeling the same way at this point, that they have been heard, and that there are people that really care about what's going on with them and what has happened here. And I hope you guys know that. And that's it. That's it. I hope everyone takes care of themselves. Yeah, bye-bye.